Hey folks, welcome back to our walk. I'm Jesse.
I'm Melissa.
And we're here to talk about the games we played this week in this week and review for week 4. Stay tuned, we're changing the background next week. You've seen this background before, but still a nice botanical garden walk. It's really dark today, about to rain, but you know, that's how it is. Last time I complained how cold it was, we're in the 70s now. That's how it is here in the South.
Yeah,
anyway, let's start talking about board games.
Yeah. All right, well, we start off Monday with some more My Island, continuing that.
Yeah, Monday we played 4 games of My Island. Getting into it now, I don't want to spoil anything, but it started to get a little mean on us. So, you know, we just got to overcome that and see where we're going next week. I think it's just going to get more mean though.
Yeah, my rating did not change from last week. It is still at a steady 6.9. I'm pretty sure I was just about there last week. It's not getting any, any different than what I was expecting, but it is definitely, it's scaling up a bit. So stay tuned for some more thoughts on that later. We played a game called Keyflower.
Yep, Keyflower is a game, it's an older game, 2011 is when it comes to board game, that's just an older game. And yeah, this is a game, it looks older than that though. It looks like a really old game. But you have a bunch of hexes that are on the table and you're bidding for control of them or you're using them. If you bid for control of them, you add them to your village to be used later. And you do that for 4 rounds. And you're building a city. It's a fun time. It's got a 7.7 on BGG. That's what really made me want to get it back out again. But it's a game that I kept forgetting how to play the game. This is my 3rd time playing it. And I believe the 1st and 2nd time I was like, okay, I need to learn this game again. And then I learn it. There's a watch it played video. It's not that hard of a game to learn. It's actually quite simple. And for some reason, this one just doesn't stick with me as far as the rules goes.
This one's one that sat on our shelf for a long while without taking it out to even consider playing. And then from doing all these walks and reviewing this stuff and getting stuff played, we brought it out. And I ranked it probably a little lower than if I played it again and gave it a second playthrough or tried a different strategy. I gave it a 6.5. to start out because it is a very good, solid game still, even with its age.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't really grasp what's going on until like a couple seasons in. Like it took me the first couple rounds to really understand like what's going on. And then after going through a couple rounds, then I figured out what was happening. So good solid 6.5 for me.
6.5? Yeah, I give this one like a 6.8. I do like it. I think it's going to shine more with more players.
Yeah.
At 2 players, bidding games just always kind of fall flat. And this one needs at least 3 or 4, I think, to really shine.
Yeah, we did not step on each other's toes.
Never.
Like hard, I mean, maybe
it was never,
once.
never times we bid against each other. But then again, that could have been because it was your first game. And my first game. Yeah. But, maybe we just didn't step on each other's toes because we didn't really know, we didn't really have a good reason to do so.
Yeah. Then we went to one that I've been looking forward to, one of the newer Stefan Felds in our collection, Civolution.
Civolution from Stefan Feld. This is the latest big Stefan Feld that's going to be a monster to look at. And everyone says it's very complicated, but if you played a Stefan Feld, you've played it before. The theme is you're building a civilization. You're, you're in a world. You're building a civ, like most civ games do. But if you're looking for a civ game, I don't know if this is the one for you. It's a Stefan Feld game. You're pushing around some cubes and you're counting up some numbers. But this one does it in a very satisfying way. It seems like they had hired someone just to do the logistics of the game, like how everything fits together. There's an additional name that's on the cover that has like a little wrench graphic next to it. I haven't done enough research to know what they do, but there's the artist name, there's Stefan Feld, and then there's this other person. And if that's what they're doing, then they deserve all the credit in the world because it really does fit together in a really nice package. And yeah, it's it's probably in my top 5. I know we did a top 10 Steffenfeld games.
Yeah, we did that recently.
And this one, I'm kind of sad it wasn't on the list because I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, this is one that it feels like a monster of a game. Like when you look at it on the table and you're thinking, oh goodness, it's going to be a lot. But just like other Felds, once you understand what's going on, once you really get into the ways of making things work for you, it's not as much as it seems. And what I really like about the layout of the board is that it gives you point by point, step by step, like you're going to move that little hex, it's going to move down the track, it's going to tell you exactly, okay, in this new phase of the game, now we're going to do this, now reveal this, now take that, okay, here's your actions, you're only going to do this many. Once those are done, okay, move down, and like everything just flows. It flows so well that like everything just made sense to me. And that's what I love about Felds for me personally. Is Feld games just make sense to me. When I'm playing them, it feels like it's a lot to take in, but once you get it, you just get it. And so that's why it made a 7.5 on my rankings this week.
This one creeps into the 8s for me. I'm really looking forward to the next time I get it to the table. Like I said, it's probably in a top 5 Steffenfeld area, and when games like Castles of Burgundy hit almost a 9 for me. Once again, I skew a little higher, you skew a little lower in general. Yeah, I give this one like an 8.1 right now.
I think it could definitely go up the more I
think it's going to go up.
It could definitely creep up. These are just, for a lot of these, this is like a first impression ranking for me. A lot of these, this is the first time I played it, first playthrough, first thoughts, how did I feel?
Yeah.
And the more that I play it, it's probably going to rank higher, because I would say this Feld is definitely in that top 10 for me as well. Like, I don't know if it would make all the way up into the top 5, but it could. The more I play it,
I don't know. After we
all the way up there.
After we played it, it was like eating a really nice meal. It just stuck with me for a long time, where I was just looking at it and I was just like, that was a really good time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to playing it again. And if you want to hear more about that, leave it in the comments. We'll talk more about it. But we just want to know if you want to hear our full thoughts about it. Also, hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Appreciate it.
Then we got into a game it's been a while. We played it many times, but bringing it back to the table was Coimbra.
Yes, Coimbra.
Yes.
This is a big
Coimbra.
one of these games where you have a set thing. You have a A through G. Go through steps A through G. You do that 4 times, and the game is over. Much like Civolution kind of does that, goes in steps. Yeah, so Coimbra, it's been around for, what, 2018, 17, something like that?
It's been a little bit.
This has always been a game that I just never forget the rules, because I really like how smooth it is. I feel like I really know this game really well. And yeah, I just like how buttery smooth it is as far as games go. But I know that's not your thoughts.
My thoughts on it is that you are just an absolute beast at this game, and I am not at all. I tried, but try as I might, I about got wrapped a lap and a half around the board.
So you're talking about your experience as playing against a pro. That's
it's like, and not that
it's like judging chess after playing against a
a champion,
grandmaster or something.
And it's not that I don't think that it's an amazing game. I asked to bring this out. I am the one that suggested put it on the table.
Your fault.
I made this decision to play against someone who really knows what they're doing, and I still feel like I haven't really grasped a direction in which to go on the board, whether to pick the people or to pick the routes or to make it on the rankings moving up in the whatever those things are, the purples and the greens and the
tracks?
The tracks. Like, I feel like
there's a lot of games that have tracks.
But I felt like I never really gave myself a direction and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And if that doesn't happen, I feel like there's something missing. Like, I need to grasp a feeling of, when we first start, what direction am I going in? And I think maybe then I might have a better experience with it and progress a little bit more. So you know, my ranking on it is still high. I give it a 7. I love the game. I really do. It's a really good, solid, good game. I just am not good at it, especially compared to someone who is really good at it that knows what direction to put themselves in, you know. So I still give it a really high ranking, even though it might not be my best played game of the week.
Interesting. I thought you were going to eviscerate it.
Oh no, I still love it. That's the thing. I still love the game. It's a solid game. So
Yep.
I give it a 7.
This game, I give 8 even. This is a game, if someone suggests it, I'm like, yeah, I'll teach you. I'll play with you. I haven't really played someone who plays it. I don't want to say I played it so well. I played it several times, but not enough to be a grandmaster at it. But, you know, I score over 200 every time. So I haven't really played against someone like that. I don't think that would ruin my time. They might step on my toes a bit more, which is what you need to do. You always have to have a little bit of toe stepping, because that game does offer it. That game offers things like steal points from another player, steal shields and other things, and usually no one I play with picks those.
I might have maybe once or twice in the past,
last
but I
game we
feel like I didn't. Like we did not do that at all. So it wasn't about any of that. It was just me not focusing on one solid like track to progress on. So try that again for next time.
In the comments last time, someone said, "Where's all the people in your city?"
Yeah.
We found them.
Here are the people.
Here. Lots of
All the
people in the
people.
background.
Yay.
There you go. There's your people.
All right, then we played the Great Heartland Hauling Company.
Yep, this is a little card game. I would call it a little card game. It has some cubes and stuff in it. But you're playing with a deck of cards. You set up a map made of cards. You're moving orthogonally on the map, picking up from one location, dropping it off in another location. And all that time, you're using these cards to play them. You have a hand limit of 5. If you want to pick up cows, you play cows. If you want to drop off cows, you play cows. So this game is really simple. It's been around a long time. I've always heard positive things about it, but I don't really like this game.
But I don't think you can really judge it on just one playthrough, because there's so many different options of ways to design the route. There's like options of like different ways you can construct the cards to change
Sure, we
the
played
layout.
it at its basic form.
And maybe that would change something. There's not much other than that to really change in the game. The thing that I kept getting stuck on is that it's luck of the draw when it comes to drawing the cards. If you just don't draw what you need and you keep getting corn but you need cows, well, you're gonna have a bad time, because they don't want corn, they want cows, and you can't go where some other truck is. So if somebody's already gotten there first, well, you're out of luck. So
you're at the mercy of the cards way too much in this game. This game needs a simple rule that says any 2 cards is a wild. That would fix so much in this game.
That would help.
You would be able to do a lot more of what you want to do, because you can't go where other trucks are, which I think is strange.
And you can't go backwards either. You can't like backtrack on your route.
Well, it's a restriction that doesn't need to exist, in my opinion. There's no reason for it.
Yes, why can't 2 trucks go in the same place?
Yeah, that's one thing. And also, why, the map expands as you get more players. So yeah, why does that rule exist where you can't go where someone else is?
And maybe a different route would have those different changes. Who knows? So
I think maybe this is a game just a sign of age. Like maybe this game is just somebody's first game, and they just I know this could be like a designer that's made 100 games, but it feels like someone's first game that was a cute idea, and it's just missing a few things to make it great. Now there are some variants and some other things. I guess you can make your own variant, 2 cards for 1. But you know, we're judging it based on the rules we read and all that stuff. So,
and I still gave it a 6.2. I still feel like it's a cute little game. I mean, if you just want a cute card game about pick up and deliver with trucks, then I mean, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I still gave it a 6.2.
Yeah, I give this
okay.
I gave it a 5.9. I don't ever need to really play it again. There's other games that do pick up and deliver far better.
And then we played some Rummikub.
Classic Rummikub.
Yeah, we're feeling some classics.
Travel edition. We used to have the big edition that had the nice, almost azul-like tiles, but this one has little plastic ones. It's fine. Rummikub is a classic game of rummy. If you know how to play rummy, this is with cubes, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah, you're making runs or you're making groups. And the first one to run out of tiles is the person who wins the game.
Yeah, and I grew up with playing rummy, like the card game rummy. That was my childhood. Me and my grandmother, we would play that constantly. And so the idea of an old style classic card game that I grew up with, that I have nostalgia for.
Let's walk down every aisle of this botanical. It's not super interesting right now because we just had a big snow and everything's kind of brown and dead and yeah.
But you know, taking something classic like that and then putting it into a little different style with the tiles, I really enjoy the game in itself. It's not anything too extravagant or like crazy fancy or anything, but I just really still enjoy that style of classic rummy, making the groupings, trying to play on other people's tiles, trying to be the first one to go out with no tiles left. You know, there's something about it that I just really enjoy. And that's why I gave it a 6.8. I feel like it's still a pretty solid, nice, like I would be willing to play it if it's just the option to be played, because it's still a, you know, nice classic game.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a nice classic game. A lot of people are willing to play. This gets a few points from me because of its accessibility, the amount of people coming into board gaming, having played Rummikub. You know, we can cross some bridges there.
Yeah.
So I give this game a 6.5. I'd usually be willing to play it.
After that, we got into a few, we've played them before, but it's been a while kind of games. And we started with Suburbia.
Suburbia. Suburbia is a classic city building game from Bezier Games, Ted Alspach. In this game, you're building up your little borough of a city, and things can go in all sorts of directions, much like a SimCity style. I feel like it's even more in your face than SimCity is. SimCity, I feel like it's such a wide shot. This is a shot of a borough, so it's really about every little building you're making in this. You're trying to balance your income, you're trying to balance your popularity, which is reputation, the amount of people coming into your city. And it lasts for about 60 minutes on the table. It's a classic. I don't know why I'm talking about it. Let's just talk about what we think of it.
Yeah, well, for our game in particular, so I started out, I was gonna, I'm gonna get all this reputation, all these meeples, this population, bring all the people in, populate everything. And then I realized after a while, that cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now I have no money. And so, oh goodness, but now if I don't do the things, my reputation is gonna go real bad because now the people are angry.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, I started out really strong and everything's going great. I have all this, you
open up the fancy restaurant.
And then I started kicking all the other restaurants out.
Yep, and I needed restaurants because I had the slaughterhouses and the farms.
And then I started kicking out the airports because you didn't need another airport.
Because I wanted to grow the airports. So everything I was going for early game, you kept kicking out. And you were having a wonderful start of game. I was having an awful start of game. In fact, we were like 2 rows apart on the on the scores. But then you took on a housing project.
And that cost me
pretty much the beginning of the end for you.
It cost me a lot of rep, a lot of money. It just cost so much for this one thing. And then everything fell apart after that. I never could bounce back.
Never recovered.
I never recovered from
And in the meantime, I opened up, I went a bureaucratic city to get my income up. I just love how this was a tale of two cities. And we really made the theme come alive with that. And you're not going to experience that with every game you play of this. But in our particular playthrough, it really felt like two competing cities going at it.
And I really enjoyed it because, we created our own story for ourselves within the game. And that's what games should do. It should allow you to have some kind of imagination, experiment with different styles of strategies and, make the game come alive. And for something as simple, something as simple as just building hexes on a grid-like thing to make, cities.
Not like you said Texas.
Oh, Texas. No.
Building Texas.
Well, we could have been building
hexes.
something as big as Texas, but it was a simple game, but we made it come to life because we gave it a story, and that's why I ranked it 6.9. I think it's
interesting.
You know,
let's talk about the bad of it though before I give my grade. There's a lot of upkeep you have to do in this.
Oh yeah, there is.
Like you put out one tile, not only are you checking your own city to see how much income you get and how much other things happen, it's possible you're checking everybody's city. So you can go the whole game and realize, oh, I forgot about this school over here that would have got me some points. There's going to be like a lot of, oh, that would have got me some points. There is an app, or I don't know if the app still works, but I used to play it on the app a lot. It took care of all that, so I didn't have to worry about it. But here you're counting everything. So each turn can be a little long, but you know, we kept it alive with the theme and everything like that. I give this one a 6.7. It's fine. I don't see ourselves needing the collector's edition.
I like the edition we have. I like the cover art with the people on the front.
We have the classic.
Yeah.
We found an old classic one in shrink wrap still.
Yeah.
So that was cool that we were able to find that and use it.
Then we played French Quarter, which is one you've played a few times, but I never played before. Yeah.
Yeah, French Quarter is a roll and write. Yeah, it's literally roll and write. Okay. Yeah. And you are drafting the dice you roll, taking like 2 actions a turn. It's themed in New Orleans. The theme is loose, but if you like New Orleans stuff, it's there very loosely though.
Well, I mean, everything on the map that you're drawing onto, it's streets that you would know from being in New Orleans. Decatur Street, you got St. Anne's,
Bourbon,
St. Heats, Bourbon, you know, the river, and then there's different little places on the map that are, you know, they have that kind of, you know, it's symbolizing like, yeah, that would be this place because they loosely base the title of it. Oh yeah, they're trying to say that that's where you get the beignets, or that's where you go to you know, the square, or you know.
And if you want an idea of the weight of it, if you ever played Three Sisters, this is the same designers as Three Sisters. I'd say it's lighter than Three Sisters though, so less combo-y. There are still combos though for those looking for that. But I think it's a little easier for most people to wrap their heads around.
It definitely was easier for me than Three Sisters between the two, having played now both.
Yeah.
French Quarter really does flow better for me because you roll the dice, you get these cards that match the colors. You're going to choose 2 of them. You're going to put them out. You're going to do the thing, move on. You know, to me, that was really easy to wrap my head around. Yeah, maybe it's not the best options every single time, but you always have an option to do something, and then you're going to try to combo best as you can, like any other roll and write, and hopefully you combo enough to get down the tracks to get you the most points for the end scoring, because end scoring is really important in this one. Like how far you got down each road, how far you got down each track. You're going to count your places against your fleur-de-lis, and like you're just hoping you did enough. So yeah, lots of good in-game scoring for that one. Get a little second line action, you know.
There's lots of ways to score. There's so much to cover about this game. Just know that's a rolling right where you're drafting some dice in the last 8 rounds. So yeah, I give this game probably a 7.1. I do like it. There's not a lot that I don't like about it. It's satisfying enough to fill in everything. So it really does fall in line with Three Sisters for me. For some people, it's easy to pick one or the other. For me, if I want an easier time, I'll play French Quarter. If I want a harder time, I'll play Three Sisters.
And we matched up on this one because I also gave it a 7.1 on my list.
There we go. Perfect match.
Ooh. Then we went to our Arcana Rising. Arcana Rising, yes.
This is a game, if you know the game Seven Wonders, it's a drafting game. Arcana Rising has 3 cards, just like in 3 stacks, just like in Seven Wonders. First age, second age, third age type of deal. In this game, you're making a choice. You're either drafting a card and putting it in front of you, or you're discarding it in order to cast spells in one of your 5 schools. Each school You cast the original spell itself that everyone starts with, or you're casting something that you have drafted underneath it to enhance that spell in some sort of way. Everything you cast can create resources or points. Resources turn into points at the end, or minus points if we're talking about blood magic. And yeah, you're just coming up with a way to win the game like you do in Seven Wonders.
And what I really like this, I like drafting games. I like games that have a real flow to it with rounds, like 3 simple rounds. And like there's just so much to like about this one as far as the look of it.
Yep.
The box, probably one of my favorite box design, like cover art of all board gaming. Like it is
not a lot of foil board game art.
Finished box cover that immediately makes me want to pick it up off the shelf. And
it's like embossed.
Yeah, it's all like magical, all these like really pretty colors on the table, these discs that are really pretty colors. Like everything just looks so like inviting. Like it just it's like I want to play this game because it just looks so inviting. Like, oh, what is this? I like how this looks. Let me figure out how to play. So I love this one. I
need to stop because I need you to listen to me. This game kills Seven Wonders for me. So if you're like standing by Seven Wonders, like it's one of the greatest drafting games, sure, that's true, but you need to play Arcana Rising because this is better.
Not that we don't love Seven Wonders. I really do still love Seven Wonders.
Yeah, but Architects kills that for me. Like I'd rather play Architects. It's a little more fun of a time for me. Like Seven Wonders is frustrating if people are like just drafting what you want. Arcana Rising doesn't have that problem. People are drafting what you want. You can shift gears pretty quickly, or if you do get a hand of nothing you want, cast a spell.
You always have something that is capable of being done where you don't feel like a wasted turn. And that's why I gave this one a 7.3.
I gave it a 7.4, pretty close.
Yeah, really did enjoy that one. We had a board game night this weekend and played a lot of good games with good friends. Starting off the night where we both played this together was Really Loud Librarians.
Yep, Really Loud Librarians is a game if you played Anomia, where people are shouting a bunch of random things, then you probably played this. In this game, it has like a chain of letters that happen behind your little character, and you can only say, oops, sorry, camera.
Nope.
You can only say,
oops, sorry, camera.
Yeah, you can say, sorry, camera, oops. It has 3 letters, so you're just shouting these words to move your guy along. So, and some points can be worth bonus points in later rounds. It's kind of randomly decided. Yeah,
it's like these little bits that go out and just random, like you put them on the letter on the track, and if you pass that and say that word, you get a bonus for your points later. But you only score points if you win the round, and you win the round by having gone the farthest around the track. And you could lap the track. There's a chip for that. There's 2 teams, so you play team-based. And I really like the parts that make up the little ring that goes around the track. It's a really neat little, like, what do we call that?
Component.
Yeah. It's a really neat component that like you just don't see in other games. That little like circles that kind of wrap around the little racetrack.
Yeah, it fits for its needs, so it's fine.
So I enjoyed it. It's something I've been wanting to play, but you need teams and you need more than just 2 players to play against one another. So, you know, having friends over gave us a chance to play it, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 6.4, which is not to say like I would jump to play it again as the next party game to start off a night, but it was nice to start the night off with. You know, people could just jump in, shout out letters. Yeah, it's a good starter.
I gave this one a 6.1. It's not really my style kind of game. It's fine if you're looking for a party type of game. It's rare that I need something that, you know, wants to test quick thinking like that. Yeah, I don't know if this is the game for me, but more power to you if you enjoy that kind of game.
Then we kind of branched off. I started playing a few more kind of party style kind of games with others, and you went to play Andromeda's Edge
Yes, I did.
with some friends.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. Check that video out.
I played a few, go-tos of mine, like Just One. We got that back out to the table, which I rank very highly for myself at a 7. Always a go-to choice for me.
Yeah.
Then we played one that I picked up called Happy Little Accidents, which is the Bob Ross party game style Bob Ross game. And it's really quick. It's like 15-minute little drawing some doodles, then add something of your own, and then vote on whose drawing turned out the best based on the word chosen. It's simple. It's easy going.
I would have smoked y'all, I guess.
I rank it kind of low because it's not something I think that all people are going to want to take out. But if you're a fan of Telestrations, you might be a fan of this because it's all about drawing.
And we were able to split up games because we had over 20 people at our game day. We host a game day once a month. I've been thinking about making a video of how to host your own game day. If you're interested in that, post that in the comments below and hit that subscribe button while you're at it.
While you were still playing Andromeda's Edge, I continued with Expressions. It's a little card game based on colors.
Cooperative.
It's cooperative colors and numbers card game. It's kind of hard to get in the first couple rounds. I really sat there feeling like I'm not understanding what I should ask or how I should ordinate. Like you have to put your card. It has to face a certain way.
Give information
to give a clue. But if you give a hint, that's going to count negative against you at the end. So every time you give a hint, it's like taking a point away from you. But if you just guess, hoping you guess correctly.
Sometimes you have to do that. You don't always have to.
No, you score more points that way. But every time you give that hint, you are taken from your positive points for the end of the game. Because at the end of the game, you count your positives against any leftover hints and cards you had, and that's how you see if you've won or not. It's just not really my style of game. I played it because some friends had asked, hey, you want to play this? Sure, okay, I'll play it. I knew how to play it, so I played it, but I still kind of rank it low at a 6. It's just not my style of game, but it's not like I would just outright say, no, I'm not going to play that. It's fine. I gave it a 6. And then played Anomia. We have a friend in our group who loves Anomia, really, really into it. And I enjoy it too. It's another one of those shout the words at the cards kind of games.
Well, I was still playing Andromeda's Edge.
Yeah.
By the way, I won.
Ooh.
No.
I heard that.
For another day.
I heard you took on my favorite faction.
I was the plutonium.
Ooh. So we played some Anomia. That's just a fun one for me. It's a fun one at the table. It got a lot of laughs. Just having a lot of fun with it. I rank it a 6.5. It's good. It's a fun one if you just want a simple deck of cards and yelling words at cards. It's not much more to it, but it can be fun. In the right group of people that really love it, it can be a lot of fun. And then, while you were teaching a game,
I was teaching Dune Imperium Uprising.
I played Three of a Kind with some friends of ours who were waiting for your teach to end so we could play the last game of the night. And playing with people, like, it was kind of a mixed group. Like, some people kind of knew each other, but some didn't. And that really does matter. Like, if you're not really sure the direction of the person, like, that you're playing against, like, where they're going to go, because you want to match them.
Yeah.
But if you're not really sure, what would this person say about, the most overrated thing in the bathroom? One of our people put in there the bidet. I would not
Overrated?
Overrated thing in a bathroom. And after it was said, I was like, yeah, I could see that, but I wouldn't have thought that. So you really kind of have to like.
Don't you get points for?
Yeah, you get points for connecting. So like you really just kind of really need to mesh with those around you. But we had a lot of good matches. It was definitely
that's
fun.
right. You don't want to be unique.
Yeah, you don't want to be. You want to match with others. Like all three of a kind.
That's
you
right,
have 3 little categories. But it was fun. I still rank it at a 6.5.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. Actually, no, 6.7. Give it a few extra point.
It deserves it.
Couple points, 6.7.
Deserves some extra points. Good game.
And then we ended the night going back to Scholars,
which we covered in last week's video.
Of the South Tigris.
Yep, Garfield Games. We talked about it last week. If you want to hear more of the overview, I think I may have covered it. It's a big game. It's a lot to cover. What we can say is we played at 4 players this time. Some reason it flowed a little better, but still overall takes very long. And I don't see why other people aren't having this problem. I looked it up on the BGG forums. No one's complaining about the length of the game. We're just a bunch of slow people.
Well, and I wouldn't complain about the length because, okay, it's going to be as long as it's going to be.
Right.
Some people like myself have AP. That is completely normal and completely fine. AP.
Oh, AP.
What did you think?
I don't know what you said.
The AP.
We have a P.
We gotta take a lot of pee breaks, but no.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that is completely, not unheard of. That, it could take a long time if that happens to multiple people at your table between turns. But if the box says the 90 to 120 minutes or the 69 or whatever it is, like hour and a half to, if we're taking twice as long as the box is saying,
yeah.
I just feel like something is going wrong.
Something's
and I tried really hard to go faster with my turns last night, knowing how to play it now, understanding it better, understanding why would you not want to take all those white die? If I put this card down, I get stuff. Oh, but at the end of the turn when I rest, I have to take that white die.
Nobody took the -3 points at the end.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not taking no -3s after every 6+. So I'm like, oh, now I understand why you might not want to play those each round. Oh, if you don't play those each round, you're not going to finish out all the track. So I'm going to rest before I've played everything. Okay, now I understand why you might not play every card. So understanding it better, it went quicker for me, but still it took us just as long.
Yeah, I was resting pretty frequently. I would rest like every 3 cards. So my progression in the game, I think, if everyone had been playing like me, which was keeping my dice totals low, and which isn't a great thing, but it kept me away from the white dice a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody else was managing to fill up their whole thing before they rest.
One turn around.
Which I don't know if that's a great thing. Sure.
Yeah.
Circle around. Yeah, it's just so slow. And when I compare the South Tigris to the West Kingdom, there's no fight coming from South Tigris for me. It's just the West Kingdom games are superior in smoothness. Sometimes you just know when a game is playing smooth, unlike this camera motion. Yeah, this camera motion was our experience with South Tigris, which was, oh no, I guess it'd be slow motion. So slow-mo shots. Yeah, it's just kind of slow for us, man.
And that was something that, playing it at 4 players, I did enjoy it more because more was happening, more was going on, more people were coming out, more options were happening. That I enjoyed. I felt like I had better opportunity to do more stuff and didn't feel so stuck.
Yeah.
But I still rated it a 6.5. And I don't know if that's higher or lower than I gave it the last ranking, but it's still just a 6.5 to me, even after trying again, more players.
I think mine went down. I'm kind of like in 6.9 territory. I'm pretty sure I gave it like a 7 something. The thing is, functioning, what you're doing in the game is cool. I just feel like it just stays too long, but I don't know how to shorten it other than shortening the game deck. Then it'll feel maybe too short.
Yeah, or like speed, use the chess clock.
Well, I don't mind speed playing it, but the satisfaction will shrink a little bit for me.
Yeah, because you want to think your turns out to get the best opportunity possible to accumulate the best points, to get the best person out there, to translate the quickest. You want to think it all out. But the more you keep thinking it all out, that does add to the gameplay.
Yeah, and just for everyone's enjoyment, that's not a game you want to think out too much.
I will say after a full week and a long game day full of games with friends, and it was a really nice way to end the evening playing a South Tigers game with some friends that really wanted to play
Yeah.
a South Tigers game. We hadn't played with them in a while. That was nice. So it was a nice way to wrap up the week
Yep.
of board gaming.
So if you enjoyed any of these games, make sure you tell us about them in the comments below. If there's a game or something we need to try with scholars, maybe throw it away. No, I'm kidding.
No!
Post about that in the comments below. But until next time, the box
Is
is closed.